Some men buy fragrances for compliments, others buy them for reactions. And if I had to make women melt using fragrance alone, here's exactly how I would do it. And first, I would start with Calio from Fulton and Rock. Lately, I've been keeping this one in my office, and my wife just often comes in and just pulls the cap off to get a whiff. Out of the gates, Calio just hits you with this warm rum note. It's rich, it's ambered, and then it's lined with this kind of cinnamon bite. And then there's this tobacco leaf that comes in and provides a little depth to the fragrance that women tend to always notice. Now, there's a hit of orange rind and bitter chocolate, and that kind of just keeps this fragrance interesting. And then there's some sandalwood and tonka that kind of just dries down really smooth here, and that in itself kind of helps keeps it steady on your skin and your clothes. Now, with normal use, this one isn't a super loud scent, but in Close Encounters, this was gonna show up big. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Then I'm gonna hit him with Mentor from Mind Games. Mentor is this phenomenal release and it has mass appeal. And low key, this fragrance was kind of made with seduction in mind. The key notes here are that boya oud and amber, but it's composed in parallel to this caramel and patchouli, which kind of just adds a seduction to the scent. Now, there's some spice and resin that kind of create this steady pulse underneath the scent. And then the creamy woods and the base kind of give it this calm but playful experience. I actually wore this fragrance yesterday and received a couple of compliments, but with Mentor, what else did you expect? Now, Calio and Mentor kind of set the tone for what's coming, but the real question is, can these next fragrances get even more seductive? Well, I say that depends because Hugo Boss Bottle Absolute is up next. Now, Boss Bottle Absolute keeps that clean, spiced apple from the original, but adds these warmer woods for a more well-rounded and grown-up approach. I mean, yeah, it's cozy and of course it's easy to like. Plus, it's reliable as an everyday scent and really provides enough warmth to kind of keep everything interesting. As far as women are concerned, they tend to love this fragrance, which is understandable because when you wear this fragrance, compliments come in like a spider monkey. And chances are, you may need to get all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Let's go.
You know, years ago when I started this video series, this next fragrance was on the list then, and 5 years later, it's still on the list today. The fragrance I'm referring to is Bvlgari Man in Black, and it comes in with spice, rum, and some dark resins that kind of just settle into this leather accord. It feels like a fragrance that's made for a man of discipline and constraint, and worn by the man who has self-control. It's a perfect balance for the nighttime and cooler weather, and women tend to gravitate to this fragrance for those reasons. But also, once this fragrance dries down, there's this creamy spice in here that kind of just lingers around for hours. They've since launched a parfum version of this, so that's amazing, and I would say try it if you did. Now, another one I think is important to talk about is Tom Ford's Eau d'Ombre leather. This one takes everything you like about Tom Ford's ombre leather and cleans it up a bit. This one opens clean with warm leather, but also feels smoother and less harsh than the original. I mean, really, it's super smooth. Like some of the others that we talked about so far, this is really a good balance for cooler weather. But here, it also works in the office. And I would say that currently, this one is a pillar or staple for any fragrance collection if you're looking for one that kind of helps build that confidence muscle. Because reactions steadily come in. Now, smelling good is one thing, but getting numbers, dates, connections, reactions, that's a whole different skill. Most guys watching this video don't just want compliments, they want results. They want women who lean in, smile, hold eye contact, and stay a little bit longer. And that's exactly why this part matters. This video is being sponsored by the Wing Girl Method, run by Marley, aka your personal wing girl. She's a dating coach with 1.4 million subscribers. She's been featured on Dr. Drew, MTV, Ask Men, Penthouse, you name it. And really, she has one mission: help men like you stop struggling with women. Look, there's a men's loneliness epidemic, and let's face it, most guys either come on too strong, don't know what to say, or they just freeze when the moment actually matters. Sound familiar? If so, that's exactly where Marley's F formula comes in. It's a proven framework that has helped over 100,000 men go from awkward small talk to confident flirting they actually go somewhere. So say goodbye to all the cheesy pickup lines, the fake bravado, and no more pretending to be someone you're not. This is about what actually triggers conversations, how to talk, how to flirt, and how to make her actually want to keep the conversation going. And that's exactly what Marley teaches you step by step. And here's the bonus for my viewers. 1, you're going to get a free preview of the F formula so you can see it in action. Plus, if you decide to purchase the full program, you're going to get 20% off using the link in my description. So if you're tired of watching other guys win and you're ready to get off the bench and get in the game, click that link down below or scan the QR code and start learning how women actually think. Once you understand the what and the why, the psychology changes everything. All right, now that you know exactly how to talk to her, let's get back to these fragrances that make her want to stay close when you do. In recent years, when it comes to Parfum de Marley fragrances, this next one has been getting a lot of buzz. The fragrance I'm referring to is none other than Parfum de Marley's Altair. Altair is really everything that you would enjoy about a nice, warm vanilla. It's lifted, it's airy, it's creamy, and quite addictive without leaning too far into the sugary side. There's spices, there's warmth, and then there's also some woods here that kind of keep it masculine, which could be one of the reasons that women tend to instantly respond to this scent. It's one of those fragrances that could get you compliments from across the table, more compliments in an innocent walk by, and the ultimate compliments in that more closer, intimate encounter. Now, this fragrance is long lasting, it's memorable, and like some of the others, this one's gonna work extremely well in the cooler weather. Now, what I will say, if you find this one to be just a little bit too pricey, then go ahead and give Liquid Brawn a try. Moving on, the House of the Stand is up next with Unseen, which is a fragrance that opens up as bright and slightly sweet, but before it dips into a rich amber and wood blend that stays closer to the skin. Now, what I will say about this fragrance is that it feels refined without being stiff. It kind of provides this soft and slightly resinous swirl and keeps them interested when they're in close proximity. This is one of those fragrances that feels like it belongs to someone who understands style, but not like they're trying to be runway chic. Yet another fragrance that's going to do well at dinner, at lounges, or just any memorable moment when you keep your lady at reach. In the right situations, this one can provide you a steady flow of compliments, but more so as this fragrance begins to dry down. Now, when I think about this next fragrance, which happens to be Versace Eros Najin, I was a little late to the party, but when I smelled it, I instantly knew that this one was going to be special. Now, Najin keeps that playful sweetness of the original Eros DNA, rings it all in with smoother woods, amber, and a better balanced base. Now, when compared to the original, this one surely feels like a more youthful fragrance. But that said, it still maintains a lot of that same respect factor. Here's what really makes this one special. There's some caramel within this one that kind of makes it feel more sensual than the rest of the lineup, which kind of gives it that immediate, instant, I'm more appealing than you presence. Now, if there was a competition, this one is going to clearly be one of the winners for a night out, casual dates, social settings, you name it, this one's going to show up for you, especially in those situations where the environment and the energy is a little bit more chill. Now, it's not the deepest fragrance in the Eros lineup, but it works. When it comes to making a sexy fragrance, the people over at Day 3 Fragrances know exactly what to do. Now, my bottle of La Tacita de Café is in the old presentation, but it still causes new reactions anytime I wear it. Now, this one opens with this warm, rich, realistic coffee, but it feels smooth and toasted without being bitter. Now, there's also this vanilla and wood that kind of settle underneath the scent, which kind of help pull through a lot of that warmth. Now, coffee fragrances tend to feel a bit comforting, and this one kind of nails it, like big time. But it creates that effect without going overly gourmand and feeling a little too cliche. But is there really such a thing of going too gourmand? Maybe, but not for me. This fragrance is perfect for the fall. It's a game changer in the winter, or any moment when you need that warm, feel good, I'm approachable type of scent. At any rate, it's top notch. Another one I want to talk about is from Azzaro, and this one is Azzaro The Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. Now, when you spray this one, it kind of just jumps off your skin with this toffee, not to be confused with coffee. There's some spice and this grounded woodiness that helps keep this fragrance sweet, but without being too cloying. For the very first spray, this fragrance just feels inviting. It's the kind of fragrance that makes women smile when they look at you, and even when they think about you. Now, a scent like this has made its bones in a nightlife, and even to today, it continues to thrive in those night settings and anywhere where that close-up attention matters. The dry down here tends to cling to your clothes, and honestly, it tends to continue to get better as the hours pass. It's easily one of the most reliable date night fragrances on the market, and super reliable if you want to feel like you're the most wanted. Next up is Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, and when I think about this fragrance, I think about Yo Gotti, because this fragrance makes you feel like your DMs is quarter body. It opens with this soft iris with this chestnut, and it has a few whiskey facets. It has that smooth, refined, upper class feel, but it also still stays welcome enough for the common folk. Now, women have been chatting this fragrance up online for years, so for that reason, it's really not a fragrance that you gotta second guess. But consider this, the term boozy gets thrown around a ton in fragrance, and some can be quite off-putting, some could be barely there, and some just people don't know what they're talking about. I feel like I'm included in that because a lot of stuff has that boozy effect, getting love drunk. The booziness here is really just on the surface, and once this fragrance settles down, it feels a little bit more intimate and more steady-handed. Yet again, another fragrance that's going to work well in the fall and winter. It's better in evenings and dressed up situations. I mean, really, I feel like you can shoot your shot with your eyes closed on this one because it really misses. Now come here. This next fragrance, I don't talk about a lot, so listen up. When you think about this one, I want you to think about Greenleaf from Parfum de Marley. But it's not Greenleaf, and it's objectively better. The fragrance that I'm talking about comes from Mancera, if you haven't seen the bottle, and this one is Amberful. Now in the top, despite the name, Amberful delivers a ton of citrus. Think bergamot and yuzu, so it's going to be bright alongside this bitter, faint scent. Now in terms of the name, the amber of this fragrance really kind of lives in the base and the heart. But personally, I don't really experience those elements until I get much deeper in the dry down. There, it feels like this amber and vanilla combo that was kind of dropped into the green apple of Greenleaf, which is kind of awesome. It's strong, it's attention grabbing, and because the amber here kind of beefens this scent profile up a bit, think about this one like a Greenleaf that you could wear in the cooler weather. I kind of look at this one like a statement fragrance, but it kind of settles incredibly smooth once you're indoors. If you want reactions, then this one surely handles the job. 1 Million Lucky from Rabanne is up next, and this is this high-performing fragrance that has a lot of people, including myself, begging the company for a more ramped-up version. And clearly, because they haven't taken action yet, there's a few things that's happening. Either the fragrance community has far more love for this fragrance than the masses, or this one's just a sales machine and they feel like we gotta make them wait. I guess there's a third option too, where we do not care. Look, Lucky opens with this hazelnut sweetness that everyone understands, but there's still those airy elements and wood notes, along with those fruity elements that really make this one a little lighter than you would expect from a 1 million flanker. But don't worry, if you haven't smelled it, it works. It gets compliments fast, especially from women who prefer their men to smell a little bit playful, a little bit seductive, and a little bit addictive. The dry down here continues to remain soft, and the fragrance still just shines through with these gourmand edible notes. This one is easily top tier when it comes down to attention grabbers and compliment getters. Now really, as we near the end of this list, I think it's only fitting that Grand Soir shows up. This one is really all about this smooth amber from the top to the bottom. It's warm, it's resonant, and this fragrance also feels polished without feeling like a heavy scent. Now women tend to react to this fragrance because it feels calming, it feels alluring, it feels like something that when someone around them has it on, they feel safe with. Really, it's the kind of fragrance that makes you feel composed, or when you're doing something that's not particularly special. Now that vanilla and amber kind of glow within this fragrance continues to get stronger as this fragrance goes on, but from its first spray, this one is known for being incredibly sexy. You can wear this one on a dinner date if you're just cruising to town. Hell, I would even wear it for a business meeting, or honestly, anywhere where I just want to exude luxury, class, and elegance. So for late night conversations, it's a win, and in those instances, the melt factor is high. That said, I'd say that this is one of the safest plays on this list. And then finally for me, especially over these past 12 months or so, when it comes to these types of lists, none of these lists are complete without Purpose 50 from the house of Amouage. This fragrance has been insane. I'm talking performance, compliment factor, prestige, you name it. This one really delivers on all accounts. So many women have asked me about this fragrance for their boyfriends, their husbands, or anything in between. And it just does something special with something that doesn't particularly feel special. It opens with this sharp mineral note with these woody edges, and then it just settles into something like incense and amber, and it has big projection. It just wafts off of the skin, and oftentimes people haven't smelled anything like it. And that is one of the things that really catches people's attention. I think women really are drawn to this fragrance because of that, but also it just smells like a fragrance that a rich person would be wearing. And I know that might sound a little weird, but if you know, you know. But also, you could be completely broke and still have this scent. That's not the goal. All in all, with this one, you get this woody resin combination, and the dry down here on this fragrance can just completely shines. But also, to be fair, compliments on this fragrance kind of skew more towards the mature crowd. So if you're looking to attract women who are 30 plus, oh, this one's bait. You got a live one. Now, if you enjoyed this video, just know the party's not over yet. And before we go, remember to holler at my friends over at the Wing Girl Method and click here because we got a lot more to discuss.